Yeah. Wait a minute, that's today. Oh man, you're in here quick. Morning, possum. I kind of ran off yesterday, so I don't remember exactly what I was covering. I did cover a lot of other things when I was being crazy, and my desk looks kind of like shit because I had a whole lot of stuff. And I was going to come down and start working on that, but I was like, oh no, it's Possum's last week. So I was like, I got to appreciate a possum while I got one. So I was like, man, I was trying to figure out how best oh God, there's a quiz. There will be no quiz. There will be no quiz. No worries. I can't remember yesterday, dude. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I got a lot done yesterday. I was really stoked about that. I put a new light fixture in our dining room and in our hallway, and I figured out how I need to lay out all of my workshop. And we went and ran a whole bunch of errands. So yesterday was really, really busy. Oh yeah, I bought 200 pounds of salt for my water softener. That's only because I had to carry them all in, and I was like, God, I'm so tired. She's like, why am I so tired? She's like, well, I did carry 5 bags of like 40 pounds of salt, and I bought a new workbench, and I did not team lift it because I didn't have a team to help me lift it. So it was very fun in the sense that actually, I can tell you it is a 2 by 3 foot 9 inch. It's like 24 by 45 workbench. It is a Master Forge steel solid workbench that you would get for like woodworking. I'm gonna put it. I think here, like so. This I pretty much. So possum angle. Actually, yeah, that is a possum. That's from. So if you're looking from where I am, I'm sitting here. Like this is how I mapped out as a psychopath. I mapped out. I don't know why I have not done this. So I did this for our house whenever I was rewiring the whole thing. With my job and as a RF design engineer, I used Visio a lot to make little diagrams that show how everything is connected. I used to do a whole lot more like intense, like not what Visio's for. Our company was smaller, so they didn't want to pay for like drawing software. So I used Visio to like draw stuff 3-dimensionally, which is very silly. But I use that all the time to plan, and I use that tool to plan the wiring of our house. Whenever I rewired our house during COVID, I had a bunch of free time, so I used Visio to map a proportionate like scale of our house, so I knew where all of the outlets were and everything. So I knew where I needed to drill holes and everything. I like to do that. So that made me think, hey, instead of having to move all of this shit around over and over and over, it would make more sense if I made a replica in my head at least, or a visual aid so I can see physically where the stuff is. So I made this. Each one of these is 6 inches, but this is a proportionate area of where my hobby space is. This is a proportionate, these are all proportionate to the location. So this is my rug laying right kind of on the floor here. Greeblin's shelf. Here's my rib. I got my Greeblin shelf. That's the shelf that Greeblin is on. Greeblin shelf. I got my black altar, which is my table. I've just called it that for forever. I think it was honestly, I think it was a joke my mom made about me making satanic shit, and I said that's my black altar. If it wasn't my mom, it was someone else's. It was someone that was upset by something I made. Cuties and kitties, that's my printers, the 3D printers, they're on that side. Then I've got my shelf of all of my bits that don't fit under my desk. And then I've got black and yellow totes, which is the stuff that doesn't fit on the shelves. And here's where the issue was that I could not get past. And it's one of those things, it's like, man, I was really excited when I figured it out. So it's like, that's some fucking personal growth right there, dog. So I have this table. This is a dining table. And it came with my house. And it's a very nice dining table. It's a solid wood dining table. I mean, it's nice. It was nice. It's been through a lot. I've done a lot to it. I just didn't put anything down. It's what I just threw everything on when I was building all of my demons. It's a table that I very much don't think about using a knife or paint or whatever on. And that started with, I'm going to take a picture because I do kind of want to show. Yeah, it's so good. There is a perfect ring, like stripped out of the varnish on this table. I don't think you can see it on here. You kind of can actually. So yeah, there is a perfect ring in like the dead center of this table. It's where it went through the varnish. I worked with someone who made moonshine, and when you go like to Tennessee or somewhere, my phone's just popped in a very disturbing manner. I'm gonna go back and find that audio. So if you go to like Tennessee or somewhere in Kentucky that sells moonshine, it's not real moonshine. That's like, it's like watered down. It's the same kind of like alcohol that like you can get anywhere. It's just marketing. They're marketing on that. Moonshine, like real moonshine that you make, that actually can fucking just straight up kill you. Like, it's hillbilly science, and I say that lovingly as someone from Kentucky. I'm very qualified to use that word. It's a step down from ethanol. Like, you just don't cook it too long, or now you just have gas. Like, don't drink it. It's crazy. But it will get you. It'll get you. But my coworker, who shall remain anonymous, and I love them so much. They made some stuff that I distinctly remember. One of my friends had, and he loved it. Just, dude, you gotta try this. But he had one that was like, the guy who made it was still kind of like figuring out how to do it. Again, that's a thing you need to think about when you're ingesting something. But he pretty much had taken this ethanol practically that he made and put like brown sugar and cinnamon stuff. So he was like, oh, it's like an apple pie. And he gave this to my buddy, and it was when we were playing Destiny, like all the time. We played it so much. And we were trying to go through the raid. It was the very first raid, the Vault of Glass, and we get to the very end. And by this point, the dude has drank like half a mason jar of this stuff, and he's in another world. He's just in another planet. And with the end of the Vault of Glass, like, you all have to do the thing at the right time, or you're gonna just keep wiping. And he was so belligerent, like you just couldn't. And then eventually he just stopped talking. And the next morning he came into work and was just like, "Oh, hey, we did Vault of Glass," and I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "I don't remember that at all, dude. That stuff was crazy." And I was like, "Yeah, man." He was just like, "How'd it go?" I was like, "Well, eventually you died, and we were able to finish it, but I think you blacked out. I think you blacked out and just like kind of went back to orbit, and we got Frosty to come help us." And he was like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't remember any of that." So moonshine, it'll get you. The kind that I had was not the apple pie kind. It was the straight off the kettle from the chef. And that picture is what happened when I set that mason jar on the table. Someone had poured like a glass of it, and there was just enough of a whisper on the bottom of this mason jar that it ate the varnish off that table like it was nothing. Like, that is how bad for you it is. And then, I mean, it's the closest thing to straight poison I've ever drank, because it's like a time bomb. And I don't have any more. My friend Sam drank the rest of it. But it was a joy every time he would come over and be like, "I'll try it," because it's just like you forget, because nothing else is like that. But it's you seriously, you would take a sip and you'd be like, "Oh wow, so and so made this? That's really, oh no," because it's like there's a 30 seconds. Like, you're like, "Wow, that's really good. That's really sweet." And then your entire stomach flips. Like, you feel your whole stomach just go, "This is poison." But yeah, then you're like, "Oh, I'm going to be sick. I'm going to be really sick." And you don't really get sick. It feels really bad. Now, I'm sure that, if you drink enough that you black out and sleep through the Vault of Glass, you might get sick. I don't know. I'm not trying to just talk about getting sick on my stream today, Possum. I try to be entertaining. First time I drank too much, I thought I had mass teleportation, and I was so fucking stoked. It turns out it was just blacking out. So that was a bummer. I was getting at the tables. So I have that table, and I've got this table. White dining table, and I didn't put a name on there because it's very obviously the wooden table that I've got there. So the issue that I kept running into was, yeah, that's the table that came with our house. This is the table that we got to replace it. Both of them ended up down here in my realm. I am the trash man. Both of them ended up down here in my realm. And I didn't want to toss them because I was like, "Oh, I can use those." This guy is perfect to fit inside of my grow tent. My grow tent that I use for painting and not growing weed. I bought a grow tent before I went to Texas because I needed to paint, and the options were tarps and grow tent, really, because everything was so big and I needed to like spray paint, and it was November, so I couldn't do it outside. I have all my airbrush stuff. So after looking at all of the options, the one that I went with was a grow tent from, I think, VivoSun. This is something else. Don't look at that. Man, my nails are disgusting. So it's just a little square grow tent, but it's got a little mat down here that's a square. It's bad. So it's got a little mat that pretty much catches anything if I spill something, which I didn't really need that, but it's just a little cube that has a zipper so I can open it. And then it's got lots of holes. And the reason that is important is I wanted to make sure I could vent the hell out of it because back when my shop, my hobby area was on that side, I put a hole inside of my house in the brick, which was really fun because my body is so sore from carrying all that stuff. I'm not just touching on myself. I'm just realizing, I'm just like, God, I am so sore today. Why am I so sore? I'm just like, I did too much yesterday. And I'm very much feeling that now. But yeah, the grow tent, the reason I went with the grow tent is because it's already optimized for what I wanted to do in it. And I don't think anything else is. Even if I would say that even if you didn't need it to be enclosed, if you were going to grow plants in like a square space, it's pretty well thought through because of how like the little box. I also feel that way when I work the salt pallets. Yeah, it's, dude, 40-pound bags. Like you gotta commit. You gotta be like, okay, carry them up. I got 2 of them. I brought 2 downstairs. Like yesterday after we got home and ran our errands, I was like, all right, cool. I got my workbench down. Now I'll do the salt. Now it's just like I got 2 down. I was like, fuck that. I'll get the other 3 tomorrow. I'm too sore. I'm too sore. All carrying. I have lots of stairs. That's the other thing. The 90-pound concrete ones are the worst. Oh man, I can only imagine. That makes me think of. I'm sure I've ranted about it, but when I worked at Home Depot, when I worked at, I do that every time. I never worked at Home Depot. I worked at Office Depot. And I don't know why I say that every time. I worked at Office Depot. And I worked, I did freight and stuff as well. And the chairs, man, they had these chairs. And I'm trying to remember, there was one chair that it was called the big something, or the old something. But that's all we referred to it as. We're like, oh, it's so-and-so's first truck. They have to handle the something whenever it comes in. But it was this 300-something pound chair that you had to put up on your shoulder and then carry up the stairs, which you had to carry up the stairs that, they're the stairs that they have in any big place that has overhead storage like that. So it's like a 2-story staircase. Me, this little child, I was like, when I started working at Office Depot, I was right out of high school, so I was 145-ish, 150-ish, around there-ish. OSHA. Oh, everything about that job, I did so many things that were just not safe. A lot more unsafe things at other jobs that I did later on, where I did inventory and stock. Fun times. Anywho, all that came down to, not only does VivoSun make a lot of stuff that I already have, VivoSun has been a company that I have come across a lot because they make stuff for hydroponics, which I initially got on the list that I'm sure is hey, that guy's growing weed, when I was trying to figure out how to grow my plants inside, because not my plant, like weed plants, but actual plants. I have cats, so certain things I can't have in my house because one of them will eat it. So I can't put my plants in the window. I have to have my plants on a shelf where they can't be accessed by the cat because the cat wants to be in the window. So one of the two has free will, and It's not the plant. So the plant gets a light and the cat gets the window. So I go and I'm looking for like, oh, I need some like plant bulbs. I need plant lights. And it's just like, I go to Lowe's and I'm just like, yeah, I'm looking for plant lights. And like, they just took one look at me and they're like, uh-huh. And then after that, I was trying to figure out how to properly irrigate plants. And then I was like, fuck, I've already got blank. Well, I don't, that's the problem with me as a person. Like, I realized that, like, I very quickly can like, make a connection of, man, I've already got blank. That's how I end up. This is how I end up with 3 tables. Is because I'm like, oh man, I can make that work instead of just buying the thing that I need. But it does take me a while to figure out exactly what I need. So that's it's a come and go thing. But I've held on to these tables because I don't want to toss them, because this thing, the white dining table, it fits exactly into this guy. So I can sit in there and I can airbrush in my little zipped in container. What I was getting at with it being VivoSun uses, it's the brand of the fan, the inline fan that pulls all the fumes out of my paint area and out of the house. So that was how I knew of them. They also make a lot of thermometers, hygrometer measures gravity. That's what you use when you're like making alcohol. From that time, I gave a tour at Kentucky Bourbon Bottling, or the Kentucky Bourbon Bottling Company. I gave a tour there one time because the tour guide was that fucking shitty. Don't ever go there if you're coming to Kentucky. Yeah, the tour guide did such a bad job that I answered the questions for everybody, because he pretty much played a video and then just kind of walked us through and read a card. And it was like, who the fuck is this guy? And I'm never going to drink anything from this company again. They're the ones that make the bourbon barrel, like beer. It's like beer aged in bourbon barrels. Not to dunk on them, I'm just being honest. I don't know. I don't like stuff that's made by people that don't love what they make. If it's something like that, I mean, obviously Q-tips, a machine makes those. Anywho, so I have a habit of wanting to not get rid of stuff, and I think that absolutely comes from being really fucking poor. When I was coming up, we were very, 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 very poor. So, like very poverty level. I did not have access to extra tables. So the idea of getting rid of stuff is like definitely, I have to catch myself because I will try to keep anything and try to make it work, as opposed to getting rid of it and getting what I actually need. And I kind of wanted, that's this whole rant that I've been going on for 23 minutes now about why I was doing this and why I was excited, is because I was like, man, that's some personal growth, and I should acknowledge that, because that is such a big part of the hobby. And I'm sure, a lot of people aren't going to give a shit. That's not what this hobby's about. I don't care what their opinions are. So much of this hobby is, it's here. It's keeping yourself enjoying what you're doing and being happy with what you make and the space that you make it and why you make it. And I was thinking about all these things. They're always running through my head. But with the tables, I kept coming back to, how do I put my cameras? Because now that I'm trying to film, it's opened up a lot of what was really functional for me before, which was almost just like chaos, like not even organized. It was just chaos. I worked in complete chaos. But now everything is organized, and that's great. But my desk, the flow of my desk doesn't work. And I realized that it's because I now have all these cameras, and I have stuff that's like in the way of the wall that I previously built before I got the cameras to like put my stuff, my lights, And that made me realize that what I need is I need a workspace that the cameras can pretty much focus on. I need a workspace that is thought about from filming first. Like, I want to show you guys what I'm working on, so I need to build a thing or a platform that I can work on to film from. So I very quickly was just like, okay, looking at the arms, how the arms clip, everything that turned into already not impulsively. I made a pretty good, and it was a good decision. I picked up, I ordered 2 of these Elgato wall mounts. But the idea was to, on the very back of my desk here, or even on the top part of my desk, to attach. So from your angle, it looks like that. Attach this to the top part so my camera is not on an arm, it's just on this little guy hanging down over, and that would reduce a very large amount of stuff that's like right in my face. It's where I could actually reach these tools. And then I thought even further that if I actually moved the whole work area away from here into the floor, I would be able to walk around. I would be able to have angles. I would be able to show you all angles of my face while I'm painting. I could show you any angle I wanted if I actually moved the work area over here. And then I thought, well, I mean, that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. And that's when I kind of came to the conclusion that I have thought about trying to reinforce the drawers, the legs. I have added, I think, somewhere between 6 and 9 inches of height by adding leveling legs to the bottom, because I like to sit pretty. I like to sit tall. And I've tried to make this like as much as what I want, but at the end of the day, it's still a roll top desk. And if I put all of my body weight in the middle, I might break it in half, because it's only, I'd say half an inch. I'd say that's half an inch. It might be 3/4. I have a tape measure right here. It's technically 3/4, so it's like half an inch. And by that I mean it's like cut. It probably was 3/4, and then they planed both sides. Anywho, I've realized that if I just did the thing and I got a workbench that has lips that I could put clips on, if I use these wall mounts on the joists, I would be able to have the cameras above. I could have the cameras from the sides, from any angle. Same thing with lighting. I lost a lot of time being upset and stressed about the lighting, because I've made the lighting here very optimized for working, not for filming. So it was just a very big learning experience, seeing all the things that I needed to adjust to make videoing what I do easier for me. So that was, I don't know, I felt like I got a lot of progress done yesterday, a lot of work through. So today I'm going to build that bench, but I didn't want to do that first thing. So yeah, these are going to be gone. And look how great that looks. This is going to be my workbench. The white table, I was excited about keeping it because it's the same size as my spray booth, but so is this. So the little workbench would fit inside my spray booth. If I need to set it up, I don't keep it up because it's 7 by 10, I think. It's big and it's solid black, so it's just a very large black square in our basement that kind of blocks all sight. I'm gonna have to turn this heater. I'm cooking a little bit. Hammer go. Margaret, do you have any bedtime stories for Possum? No. Sweet dreams. Trying to think. another thing that was on my mind that I thought, hey, I should mention that. So are you keeping your personal hobby space as well? So yeah, I'm gonna keep my desk because I wanted to have a place that, because that's, thank you, Possum. What am I gonna do without you when you're gone? I'll have to, like, Eric, you're gonna have to step up. I know you're there. I know you're hiding in the shadows. Uh, I'm thinking that this will be good if I'm just wanting to, like, oh, I'm going to build a Gundam and I'm not going to film it. But if people are going to want to see that too, then I might film that too. But I'm not going to film everything I do. But yeah, I was thinking I want to keep that because there's definitely going to be times in which I could film stuff from this desk. I can't really entertain as well while filming. What in God's name is that? Something gross on my desk. Ooh. Disgusting. Yeah, so I'm thinking I'm going to keep my desk over here with just my tools and stuff that are in it, and use it almost as like a launch kind of platform. Like whatever I'm working on, have it kind of like a staging area, I guess would be a better term. A staging area, using it between what I'm working on and personal stuff, I guess. Because that was a key part of what made me also realize that I do need more than one desk, is that please don't film everything you do. You need to keep some of your hobby time for you and your enjoyment away from the thought of entertaining others. Thank you. I agree. And that is what I was thinking. I really want to have, and I think that's a very healthy, I appreciate it so much. Like that is me. I should practice what I preach. I would, if I did film everything I do, it would turn a hobby, which is my passion, into something else. And I don't want that. I definitely, there's so much that, like, it just constantly is pouring out of my head that or into, out of, vice versa. That I just try to get everything out as quickly as possible. And I feel like I put that eye is a little too recessed. But anyway, I feel like I definitely do that. So I definitely should keep my personal hobby space. And I definitely want to keep the top here. I had all this stuff set up there, and I've realized that I kind of removed it because I didn't use it as much as I thought I did. So I really enjoyed actually kind of thinking about, like, my hobby desk and, like, what works for me, and having all the paint. Like, a lot of people, like, I think that's a big thing about, there's just so many different ways that you can enjoy the hobby. And that's, a lot of people like to just paint. The building has always been the part, like, that I love most. The painting doesn't come until after for me, or kind of sometimes in the middle. Frustration. Sometimes in the middle. All of my demons, actually. Yeah, I start painting, I guess, sometime around the middle. But having all the paints everywhere, I think definitely is a distraction and a little overwhelming for me. Especially just the colors. There's just a lot of very bright, vivid colors, and I think not only was I worried that I would get reflections of the light while trying to film, so that was something that, like, made me like, oh shit, I gotta do that. I also was just thinking they're gonna collect dust, and I know I just work better if I don't see them. Like, I don't have as much going in my head, and I also know that I don't use all of them at the same time. Like, when I'm going to paint, I get out X paints and I sit them down, and that's what I use. And if I do that and then put up those paints when I'm done, then Eli from the next day will greatly appreciate it. And that is something that I've been really working on in my personal life, is that trying to reframe doing things for myself as an act of kindness, because I have no problem doing that for other people at all. If anything, I will throw myself out there way too much. But for myself, I very much struggle with that. And that's little tip from me that I've stolen from someone else is that, yeah, if you can convince yourself that it does help. It's helped me anyway. So that's why I did all this organizing. Hey, Margot. I know I'm on that deep shit. You're right. Mental health is not deep shit. It's just taking care of yourself. It's just maintenance. You have a fluff in your hair that's sticking out. She's got a spore. Margot, you gotta deal with the spores, or then you'll have a whole bunch of extra Margos. But luckily, it's as easy. I'm just gonna show them how we get that spore. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna just pinch that, and that's a jumbo that the next generation will have. I'll plant that somewhere. Another jumbo just popped right out of the ground. She's laying on my workbench box. Looks real cute. Oh man, I started working on more stickers, both of which features Margot's face. One of them says, all of us have a RedWetSkeleton deep down, or deep down inside, everyone has a little RedWetSkeleton. And I was on the fence of, do I want to say you just got to reach in and grab it? But I didn't know, because that's a SpongeBob. Sometimes you got to look deep inside yourself. Patrick, I'm scared. Don't worry, I'm going in for you. So there was that one, and then the other one, I think it was just Margot saying, like, if you got punched so hard, you turned into a blood mist and a RedWetSkeleton. But it's like real bubbly letters. It's just very silly depiction or descriptions of hyperviolence. So yeah, no, I'm not going to film everything I do. I definitely want to have more hobby for myself. I wanted to make sure that also, and that was the other thing I was getting at with these. I'm excited because that means that these two tables are not going to be in my house and I'm not hoarding them for some reason. And whoever might need a dining table or two will have a dining table. And I will have more space, which means it will be easier to move around while trying to have that big back cloth, which my son Theodore slept on. And I made so many back cloth for Crown Additional jokes. Whenever my wife would come down, she would see him laying on there. She'd be like, he is still on that back cloth. And I was like, yeah. Or he said, he's still laying there. I was like, yeah. He comes with back cloth for a Crown Additional. If you are vivid depictions of hyperviolence is my new grindcore band. That's a good grindcore band. Fucking love grindcore. Are the Blood Brothers back together? I think I heard that. Speaking of grindcore, which, fuck, I love them. Man, I got too excited thinking about Blood Brothers. What was I talking about? I was talking about Marco. I was talking about filming everything I do. I'm not going to film my... Yes! I love the Blood Brothers. They're so good. Actually, Possum, you do like the Blood Brothers. I have... Okay. If you like them, I do have something that's pretty cool. I don't think... I've got some postcards, some Blood Brothers postcards. If you'd like to see them, I can go get them. They're very weird. Like, I don't know. They came with, I think, Crimes when I got Crimes on vinyl. Crimes is one of my favorite albums. I absolutely love that album. It's really good. That's why. Yeah, they're wild dudes. I've been thinking about. It's so good. I love Crimes. It really lyrically, I'm such a lyricist guy. I love good lyrics, but I'm also a musician, so I love the musicality or lack thereof. The Blood Brothers are just, they are art. And it's very clear. Like, you can look at certain bands and be like, oh, okay, they're just doing this thing, or yeah, you can do that and make money. It's a thing that's going on right now. But then there's bands when it's just like, how are they making money? Like, it's a sound that is like, it's not mainstream. It's not going to be popular. It's great, but I love when I find something that you can just tell. It's just like, yeah, they're in it because they love it. And the Blood Brothers absolutely are, but also are so strange. Uh, and if you like strange things, which if you're here, you probably do. Now, I will say with that, I actually was introduced to the Blood Brothers I was introduced to a lot of my music tastes from my buddy Sam. I was, again, very sheltered. Uh, I brand new and Linkin Park at the time were what I was mainly listening to when my buddy Sam brought all of his CDs to me before he anyway, he gave me all of his CDs. So he gives me all his CDs, and one of them was Burn Piano Island Burn from the Blood Brothers, and there was also a shit ton of like Anti-Flag and stuff in there, which that's where my love of Anti-Flag came from. And then, which I've not listened to them in years, but every time they pop on, I'm like, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. My buddy John has an Anti-Flag tattoo. It's his first tattoo, and it makes me really happy. I've known him since we were in high school because he was friends with my like first girlfriend. And apparently at one point in time, she was like, yeah, he hates you. And he was just like, what? And she was like, yeah, he don't like you at all. And he was like, oh, okay. So for years, he thought I hated him, and we worked together. That's what makes it really funny is like very shortly after this, like after, she and I break up, whatever, I start working with the guy, and he just thinks I hate him for like a decade. And then eventually we're like standing outside one day, and she's like, hey man, do you hate me? And I was like, no, we're friends. We're very clearly friends. She's like, I thought so. Yeah. My older sister left the CD after she moved out. I didn't appreciate it as much when I first listened to it. It took my music taste maturing. Oh, yeah, I love Grimes. Cody Zimmer, I want to say. Is that Zim? I want to say it's Cody, but I might be thinking of Cody Vitilato. Nick Zimmer. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Nick Zinner, yeah. So Nick Zinner does guitar on Devastator, which, Nick Zinner is the guitarist for Yeah. So, really, really crazy, thin dude with really, really big hair that does not age. But he is friends with the Blood Brothers from what I can deduce based on the circles that they all run in. But huge fan of the Yes. So when I saw him on Devastator, which is like one of my favorite tracks on Crimes, I don't want to just talk about music, but that is another thing that I am really excited about and looking forward to is one, I get to make music for myself, like for like streaming kind of stuff, which is really fun. And I don't think you guys can hear anything if I play it for you. I don't think so. I don't want the sound to be fucking terrible. You'll hear it soon enough. But I made a really dope track years ago for Cyborg when it came out, like the Merkborg cyberpunk adjacent role-playing game. I made a really dope little track, and I sent it to Johan and Pele. I never heard back from him on it because I was like, hey man, I've been talking to Johan about submitting stuff for Merkborg in its like earliest days before the Merkborg cult like started. Like he and I were talking about some of my ideas, and I am still going to do at least one of them that I use. for something that I had pitched to him. The last tree of I want to say Bergenworth. It's not Bergenworth. Oh, Bergenworth. Oh, curse upon Bergenworth. It's Bloodborne. Graventosk. I think Graventosk is the main city in Merkborg of like where the two basilisks kind of like the Inquisition like rules over. I made it the idea of it was the last tree of Galgenbeck, and it's really metal. Uh, I'll make that eventually, so I don't want to ruin that. Talking to Johan and talking to Hele about the music stuff, I made what I thought was a really fucking dope track, and everyone I let hear also thought it was. But whenever Cyborg released, it was all like glitch, like skitter trap, kind of just like Greg stuff would require his noise. Noise band would have been perfect for it. Mine was much more. Greg Wire said it went hard as fuck. That goes hard as fuck. There's a bass drop. It's good. And there's a robot voice. It's welcome to the world of tomorrow, and then a bunch of locust plagues sounds. I put a lot of time into it. It's really fun. I'm excited to let you guys hear it. So I'm going to use that for myself now because it's mine. They didn't use it. Johan drew me a possum lich in his art book. That's wonderful. Johan drew me a little thing. Let's see if I have my book. He drew me a little head from the thing. I think that, or it's like the dog thing. Johan. That's the parent. Oh yeah, I need to frame that. That's dope as hell. Why haven't I framed that? I have too many things I need to frame. I still need to frame the amazing print I got from Martin. I don't know if I talked about that on here, but God, that's so good. I love Johan's art. Yeah, there he is. This is what Johan drew, and mine, yeah. I love it. I was real excited. Yeah, I asked for anything thing inspired or thing related. I love it. It's so good. The thing is, it's my favorite movie. It's my wife's favorite movie. It really redefined horror for me. The very first time I saw that movie, I didn't understand, I think, scary movies until I saw The Thing, and that's when I understood true, like, fear of, like, oh my God, I don't know. I can't guess what's going to happen. And that's, for someone that's typically able to guess things early on, being able to create dread is what makes horror so amazing. Also, you can use it as a wonderful tool for social commentary. I mean, most horror is, and I can talk about that for days. But yeah, most horror is just commentary on something that's happening right now. I know all mine is. Okay, now I'm back. Yeah, I liked it. I liked the little drawing. Okay, what were we talking about? I got 8 minutes, and I'm probably going to biz out. I'm sorry if this has not been a very thrilling Thursday. It's thrilling Thursdays. At my job, that would mean that I would get to go out in the field today. Someone might be out in the field today. I'm not going to go out in the field today. I'm going to be at my desk. So what am I going to do today? I'm going to build that desk. Boom on thrilling Thursdays. Is that a Severance reference, Eric? Oh, did I not talk about that? Maybe I haven't. So, okay. I will talk about that. Yeah, dude, Kelly and I have been watching Severance, and it's, if it hadn't made me feel the way I already felt, I would. it's wild, man. Working in corporate America and then like seeing anything about like bureaucracy that is clearly made by somebody that like works in corporate America. Speaking of which, Eric, I need you to look up Clay Paris's game, Thrin Odyssey. It is essentially about corporate America has essentially stripped the planet so much that we are having to try and find some new source of energy. We do stumble upon a new source of energy. There are ancient gods buried deep beneath the earth, deeper than we'd ever gone. And while trying to extract DNA for like testing and stuff, we discovered that their great old blood, great old oil, is like more powerful than any fossil fuel ever known, but also it's great old one's blood, so it's cursed. So obviously everything becomes like, oh, we have all the resources we need. Unfortunately, it curses the earth and like kills pretty much everything, so nothing can survive on the planet. The corporations had already gone into like space because they don't give a shit about us, and they now the job is you are a corporate necromancer that you clock in, you summon some like essentially undead astronaut miners that you send back down to Earth to wage this corporate like it's a corporate warfare, a corporate fracking warfare kind of game. And I just love the amount of, it's a kind of game that you can only make if you have worked in corporate America, and Clay does. It very much shows. And I very much, it's just reading it, you will get a kick out of it. Damn, that's dark. It's so dark. It's very dark. The concepts, a lot of the concepts that I've been coming up with for the world that I'm working on are in a similar vein of we're fucked. We have fucked up. Like I think that's where Warhammer's off, but technically not, because Warhammer takes place after the Dark Age technology. I think they already accounted for what's gonna come. But yeah, no. I am. Today is the 13th. I am currently. I don't know. I am being. My position is being eliminated. So at the end of the month, I am being laid off, and I will be attempting to do all of this. That is what I'm hoping to do. I am hoping that through commissions mainly, as well as making other things. I have a lot of ideas of what to do to make money in a way that I would be happy, and I don't ever want to seem like I'm trying to live off the community. I want to be an artist, but I also want to provide stuff. Uh, and I've been trying to think of exactly what that entails, and I kind of already know. I know I definitely I want to make a lot of content, but that's not going to pay the bills. Like I want to work with other people to make things. And I know that this is going to be a very good way to get into that. Again, it's not again, I'm just talking to myself. When I'm trying to explain to like my mom or to someone else what I can bring, my mouth is so dry. At the end of the day, honestly, it's talking to you guys that kind of made me realize, oh shit, I actually have a lot that I can bring. I have a lot that I can bring because I have been doing Warhammer stuff for 25 years. And I have gone through all of the levels of doing Warhammer stuff, like from buying the boxes only to I don't even need the books at this point. I can just make Space Marines however I want to, but I'm still playing in that universe, and I do still give money to Games Workshop in ways. Like it's, and I mean, before that, I mean, there's no telling how much money I give to Games Workshop. I give mainly my money, I don't give to Games Workshop these days. I give it to other brands. But I'm hoping to be able to do what I enjoy. I want to create RPG stuff. I want to create models. I've purchased a new iPad because I'm going to teach myself to sculpt in Blender. I use Chitubox in a very not way it's supposed to be used. I use it in the same way that I use Visio, where it's just I'm very good at making things. I just need to take the time to figure out how to use the tools. And until then, I just use the tools the best way I can. So like with all of my Emperor's Children's, I didn't sculpt anything. I meshed. I took a whole bunch of different things and I knew where to cut them and I knew where to lay them over each other. So I didn't have to sculpt. I could just use shapes that already existed. But I realized that now I want to do that. I want to have full control over what I'm doing. And I want ownership of everything, not from, I want people to pay me. I want to be, that's it. I think I've hit a point. I've realized that there's no more money that my job could pay me to make me happier. And I was not happy doing what I was doing. So it works out really well. I actually talked to my boss yesterday. We hadn't spoken about it. I actually found out from another director because mine was on vacation. But yeah, my director called me and we talked about it, and he was like, honestly, I'm really excited because when we talked about it, like I've been so anxious because I've been trying to ask, how do I get on the list of people that want this to happen? Because my job was killing me. The stress was killing me. I can see the health benefits already of not having all the stress on me. I feel weightless, but it's given me the clarity to think and just accept the fact that, yeah, I am very qualified to make a lot of decisions and I know what I'm talking about, and I do have good work ethic. If I enjoy what I'm doing, I want to make things for the community. I want to make things that I would want. And I think that this is a good platform to reach out to other creators, not just models, but I mean like products, like not products, but like this. I want to help people make the things to help me make things. I want to and I can't wait to go to Adepticon and actually like meet and talk to. Last time I went, it was more of a vacation kind of thing. This time, I really want to actually meet the people that make the stuff that I use and love, and I want to support the people that need to be supported, and I want to be a space that I can tell others, hey, this is a good company. These are good people. I care about a lot more things now, and I think I can do a lot more. So I'm running over. I'm gonna kill the stream here. But yeah, a lot coming on the future. Sorry to drop all that at once, Possum. But you all have a good one. I will definitely have more info up. You all take care. I'm gonna have coffee. I'll catch you guys later. Bye. No problem. Thank you.